What's good, everybody? What up, YouTube world? It's your boy SBX coming to you once again with another video. And before I even get to the topic, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, or if you don't celebrate holidays at all, that's cool. Happy New Year's to everybody. You know what I'm saying? 2020 is coming. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, guys, I just want to kick off this holiday video discussing about gentrification. You know what I'm saying? So if you live in an urbanized community, you know, whatever city you're from, whether you're from New York, Jersey, Philly, Chicago, LA, Atlanta, or whatever the case may be, then we just talk about gentrification, how it affects the black community. So anyways, if you never even heard of the word gentrification or know the whole concept of gentrification, if you never read a dictionary or never heard of the word gentrification, let me just clarify it first. So anyways, with gentrification, it's like where people, pretty much white people, who are pretty much in the process of renovating and improving houses or districts so that they can conform to pretty much middle class or higher class people, basically white people or black people who are the pretty much the Huxtable type of motherfuckers, basically. So if you have a higher income and you know you have better chances of living in a nice community or a community that's developed to be a nice community. So anyways, if you live in the hood or whatever and you have, you know, black tenants are kicked out of their houses and the government may pay them or may not pay them just to get them to leave out of their homes. And to me, there's a pros and cons when it comes to gentrification. So the pros about gentrification is this. Yes, with these neighborhoods, some of these neighborhoods are so dangerous that, you know, a lot of drug dealers are messing up the environment by selling drugs and committing violence in the streets and murder, whatever the case may be. However, there's a contradiction towards that because, the system put us in that predicament because of the fact that we're a low-income people in the black community. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, it's like they trying to convince, rather if you're a drug dealer, of course they're going to lock these people up for a crime that they do, which they should. But at the same time, you know, people who do make an honest living, who are African American, who do suffer the criteria of the low income department or whatever. So to me, you know, people who've been in this neighborhood for so long that that's the only place that they consider home, the only place they know, or they're comfortable in their comfort zone. So yes, when you try to get out of your comfort zone, it's going to be hard. Yes, and also too, you got to make some sacrifices. But at the same time, where white people who are, rather, it doesn't have to be just white people, it'd be the Asians too, or the Jewish people. So they're trying to do what they've been doing for hundreds of years by kicking out the minorities and letting white people, pretty much their own kind, to move in who have a lucrative bank accounts, them six-figure type of jobs or whatever, the doctor, lawyer money, you know what I'm saying? So it's like not everybody has that lifestyle, but it's crazy how, especially in New York, you know, people who live in the hood, who are, rather they're doing good, rather they're doing bad for the community. If you're doing good for the community, you're in the hood, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to make ends meet. You know, living in the hood is more cheaper than living in a fucking white picket fence suburban neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the system was designed to put us in our own place, but at the same time, they trying to kick us out of our place just to make an investment, just to make more people to move into these upscale apartments. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying an upscale apartment is bad, but at the same time, besides kicking out the black people who have the rights to live here, who are the tenants, who are the homeowners or whatnot, why couldn't they make improvements in the projects where, you know, people have a leaky faucet, have infestation, rats, roaches or whatever, termites or whatnot? They're not fixing the community for the black people in the projects, but they so determined to fix out to one of these people who have an upscale apartment, or better yet, you know, white people who live in a nice suburban community neighborhood, you know. So with New York, I say that there's a pros and cons about living in New York now, because the biggest cons is that New York is very expensive, and I've been living here, born and raised here all my life, and also, you know, from my teens to my mid or my early adolescence, you know, that I've also lived in Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, with black people, is that, you know, as a New Yorker, you know, New York is so expensive that now all of a sudden it's like everybody's moving down south. You know, it doesn't have to be Atlanta. It could be Florida. It could be the Carolinas, North or South, Virginia, you know, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the South has so much to offer, but at the same time, it's so boring down south. It's just, you got acres of land, but you ain't got nothing to do. New York has that fast lifestyle, as in like everything you have is right there. You know what I'm saying? But for me, when you're in the city, it costs so much. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, a lot of niggas is moving to Atlanta because of this whole Tyler Perry type of vision that they be seeing on TV. Like Atlanta can solve everybody's problem. Everybody can be on a Hollywood tip, you know, and it's completely different from how I viewed or lived in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, it's like the up north niggas are acting like how the Mexicans migrate from America, how we come move down south for a better living opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean is that, you know, with Section 8 and stuff like that, it's not up to par. In fact, they're not doing Section 8, but they still doing it on the low. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in fact, I feel like the vast majority of people who live in New York, rather it depends on what type of income you have, need like a Section 8 home, need vouchers and stuff like that. Hell, you know, it's hard for me to get a voucher. It's hard for me to live in New York. It's hard for me to pay so much money on rent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they don't do nothing but just drain our pockets away just to have a living, you know? So, in my opinion, is that, you know, with gentrification, you know, if you have a 6-figure income or whatever, and you in an urbanized community, it's like they only prioritize people like that, you know? But like I said, it's like I don't like the fact that black people have to be kicked out of their own homes, rather if it's in a dangerous environment. You know, you're building these apartments and homes or whatnot, and you know, you're not doing nothing to lower the income. In fact, it's like an auction where you're increasing the prices of homes in each borough. You know, if living in New York, the only borough of New York City is cheaper is the Bronx, but at that point, it's about to change, you know, and I have to move back to Queens just to look for a new apartment to live, you know what I'm saying? But with that is like, you know, my alternative is to see if I could stay in Queens or go back to the Bronx. But like I said, the Bronx is the cheapest borough in New York, and also somewhere in East Harlem or something like that. Somewhere in like Manhattan or whatnot. Not like those 42nd Street type of homes, but somewhere in like near the Bronx region or whatever. So, anyways, I feel like with that, with New York, it's because of the fact that our mayor is not doing nothing to change the environment. You know, New York is not even New York no more. You know, growing up in New York, it's like the vibe was so much different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was still hood. You know what I'm saying? The Bronx, South Bronx, you know, Brooklyn neighborhoods like Crown Heights and Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, Flatbush, you know what I'm saying, Queens, Southside Jamaica, you know what I'm saying, Harlem. It's like nowadays it's crazy that white people are moving into Harlem, you know what I mean? And Harlem is like the blackest neighborhood in Manhattan, you know what I'm saying? So why it's like this is a sign that they trying to erase what is ours. And that's why I say our black communities cannot be a black community. Like, if the Hispanics can have their own shit, and the white people and Asian people got, you know, Chinatown or whatever area in like whatever borough in New York, it's like niggas can't have shit anymore. Like, Flatbush is not Flatbush anymore, and Bedford-Stuyvesant, Bed-Stuy is changing a little bit too. So like the Bronx is like the last Mohegan borough of New York who still hold it down, but they trying to get their them Jew niggas is trying to get their hands off on the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, luckily the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans got the Bronx on lock, you know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is that, you know, New York is not New York no more. It's just New York, where hippies are pretty much controlling like the Brooklyn area and somewhat in the Queens area, you know what I'm saying? Of all places, it's like they putting a Starbucks everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck do we need Starbucks for, you know what I mean? So again, it's like, you know, back in the days where white people used to live in like neighborhoods that was back then wasn't the hood or was the hood, and, you know, back in the days, it's like, you know, people live in the projects is because of like the military veterans who came back from war and can't afford housing or whatever. And after black people started moving in these neighborhoods, it started to deteriorate, and it is what it is was today. So now it's kind of like the point is where white people are going to take back what's belong to them, you know what I mean? So that's really what it is, you know? So it's kind of like how, like, the dictatorship where white people are always trying to take away what's ours. They did the same shit with the Native Americans, and they're gonna do the same thing to us. So this country, America, is not really built for stabilizing at all. Some things are meant to stay, and some things were meant to just be taken away when it comes to the public eyes of the white supremacists, you know. So gentrification do play a big and a bad and a good part of the American society, if you get my drift, folks. So anyways, guys, I'm done. I'd like to know everybody's opinion. Please leave your comments on the comment sections below. I'd love to know everybody's thoughts about this. Make sure you share, you hit that like button, and subscribe to my channel. Until then, folks, SBX wrapping this up. Thanks for watching. Peace out, and Merry Christmas to y'all.